I welcome you all to today's class. If you are new here, you're welcome. We want to complete the remaining three types of turban or auto gele bases today so that next week we can start with the design. I've seen in the comment section people are asking how do we make the crown, this and that. I'd wanted to do the basic things so that when we begin to design, we wouldn't have problem with how to do this materials, tools and that. Hope you've all gotten your materials and your tools. So please let's get started. Materials needed for today's classes: satin fabric, scuba fabric, paradise, this is also satin fabric. And the tools needed: we will need thread and needle, scissors, tape measure, pins, tailor's chalk and ruler. So please, measurements needed for today's is your head circumference and then the fullness or the base length. Okay, so I am showing you how you can take your client's head circumference. That's how we take it. Then you measure how full that you want your turban or your cap to look like, either big or small. You see, our hair differ, so doing this will help you. After you've gotten the width of your measurement, you are going to input that hair circumference measurement. So on this, it is going to be your length. Okay, your hair circumference will be the length of your base, and then the width will be the fullness of how you want it. So please, you take care of this. And the band is also going to be 25 inches by 8 or 9 inches, depending on how you want your pleats. So the number of pleats you want also depends. Here you are going to take ½ inch from your base, as I am doing. Then you are going to sew. I'm doing this video in details because of our next class coming. We are not going back to all this process again. So after you are done sewing the first one, you are going to start with your pleating. To do your pleat, you make sure that your pleat will be on top of your sewing line. Okay, yes, it should be exactly on your sewing line. Then you sew again. You continue pleating that way until you get your desired pleat. In today's class, I am doing only 4 pleats. So you see the line. I'm going to pleat on top of the sewing line again, and this is going to be the next pleat. I'm going to do it nicely and then put my pins on it to hold it for me. If you're a beginner, please, you want to be patient doing that. Okay, so please, you do it this way. Now you stretch it nicely, you send it back to your sewing machine and you sew ½ inch again. After sewing your ½ inch on your pleat, you are going to pleat again on top of the sewing line and you pin and you go and sew. Please take note for me. Now we are finally done. We are finally done with our last plate. Okay, so this is our 4th one. Okay, so that is that. Bring your base and then attach to it. But before we attach our base, I want to show you something. We want to add a tying this thing at the back. Okay, we want to tie it, and to tie it you would want to get another fabric to attach to it before we form our gathers. So now that we are done doing this particular method with our base, attach our band to the base, let me show you that one too, how we do it, how you can attach a thread or a fabric for tying, because this one is not stretchy fabric. Maybe it might not fit the person perfectly, so we are going to measure 12 inches by 6 inches in two places. Okay, 4 inches, 12 inches by 6 inches in two places, and you are going to curve it as I am doing. Okay, at where it is open, we are going to sew the open area, and then you are going to cut all the excesses off. And let's look at how you can fit it or fix it on your turban base before we finally finish it. Please, you can use anything to turn it into its right side and iron. Here I'm using the scissors. You can use even anything that you want, or you have a ruler, or we have a specific sewing tool for that. So we iron it this way, and then you are going to put it on your base. To put it on your base, you see, right side facing right side, or the rough edges facing the rough edges of the base, another rough edges facing at the edge of this, and then you fold it. You fold your fabric into two as I've done. You measure half inch at the back, and then at the other side of it you send it to your machine to stitch. You stitch only at that place as I've done. So now we are stitch it. We want to now form our base. To form your base, okay, bring your tailor's chalk and let me show you something. You know, I've told you that if you don't know how to curve, measure 4 inches at the bottom of the place where I am curving it. Just measure from 4 inches from the bottom to the top and curve. But if you can capture or see what I have done, then that's all. Send it to your sewing machine and then sew. After, we want to trim, and now let's gather. Bring your thread and your needle out. Your thread and your needle out. You are going to stitch after where those tail is, okay, what we are going to use it to tie. You are going to start from then. This time around we are not going to start from where the band is, but before the band, or before where that two tying material is. Then you secure it safely. You see how I secure it? I use the thread to turn it around about 2 or 3 times. I redo it again, then that will be all. So guys, we are done with our round pleated base. This is 4 pleated base. We are done, and then let me put it on the dummy and let's see something. So please, this is how it looks like. This is how it looks like. Next project is the single V shape. We are using stretchy fabric, and then the measurement has been written boldly in the video. So please, we want to add or attach our V shape to it. So you fold your band into two like this, and then you do the same thing to the second one. After doing this, look at how to get your V shape. Okay, you will turn the place that you didn't pin, okay, and you put it on the other one too. Then you let the pinning side, you notch the middle of the main base before you attach those two pieces band that we are using to form the V shape. Yes, so where the V shape is, or where you have notched, put the V shape, what you have pinned on top, at the same middle. You don't want your work to look dirty, so make sure that the V shape matches the notch on the base. Then we send it to our sewing machine this way. After you remove your pins, and we cut that excess at the area of the notch, where the notch area is. We want to cut that shape or that excess there. Yes, if you don't cut it, that place will look bulky, so cut it. Bring your scissors, cut it. That's it. Fold it into two, and let's measure our head circumference on it. So please, you want to pin it and use your tailor's chalk to curve the shape. Okay, yes, you want to curve the shape. So this person's head circumference is 20 and it is on fold, so I measured only 10 on the base. Then I am curving my shape on my base, so going to sew, then we gather. I am done sewing it. We are going to trim this part that we don't want. You can see that this thing is already even in, has formed its shape already. So please, we are going to gather. The gathering, you leave a gap as I am doing. A gap as I am doing. Then you pull, you leave a gap, you take it again, you leave a gap. Then when you get to the very end of your base, you over thread it so that that place will be secured. If not, your thread will remove from the base, or your turban, or your auto gele base. So please, this place, try to do it well, secure that end. So please, we are done also with our single V shape. Hope you. So we are done with the second part, and let's move to the last one. So the last one too, we won't take time because I've done the first, I've done the second, so now you are getting used to the method. So that's it. Get your other fabric ready and let's get started. This is how it looks on the dummy. Okay, so I've done the second illustration too. This is stretchy fabric, so it fits so well, so you don't need anything extra. The second measurement, or the third measurement, we are going to use this paradise setting. So the measurement is written on it, your head circumference and the width, that is 25 inches by 14. Then after I'm done with this, we are going to measure our base. We are doing V shape multiple pleated base. Okay, so we are using 16 inches length by 9 inches width in two places. After we've gotten our measurements, we are going to fold ½ inch on both of those bases, and we are going to stitch them and begin with our pleating. So iron your ½ inch and let's get to work. Okay, so please, I've gone to sew them. We are going to pleat. I said if you want to pleat, you want to make sure that your pleat is on top of the stitch or your stitch line. Okay, you want to hide that stitch. You want a neat work, right? So please, you take notes of all those techniques I'm giving to you. write them down so that you don't always have to go back to old videos. But as you keep practicing, it become part of you. So this is what I'm doing or showing it to you now. So half inch again, and then we are going to sew on the sewing or the stitching line as we did for the second one. Then we pin, we send it to our sewing machine, and make sure you are doing this too on the second base band, okay, because we cut two of them. Don't forget that. Now our last pleat, the fourth pleat, is also going to be on the stitching line, and then we will be done with our base or pleated band sewing. Then we want to attach it to the main base, that is the 25 inches by the 14 inches. So please get that part of your base ready for attachment. Please, that is that two of them are well done and neatly ready to be fixed on our base. So please, as usual, we need the middle point, so we are going to notch. This is how we do the V shape, okay? You put it on the other side of it where you pleated, and then you pin it nicely. You notch the middle part of your base. Then where you have gotten your base, okay, you know where the base is the right side of the fabric. The shining part of the satin, or the right side of the satin, is what we are working on now. So make sure that the right part of your band, that is the pleated bands, the two of them, the right side should also face on the right side of the base. Is it clear? And then we are going to sew on our band or the whole thing. This time around, we don't want to waste this thing much time on the gathering, because for the gathers I've done on several occasions. So please, your thread and needle, you have to start. I said what? You start always after where your band is. After where your band is. Then you continue this way, and you finally fold your thread or tie your thread around it 3 times or 2 times for a very strong tying. If not, it will open when the person put it on. And please, you bring your dummy, as I've already illustrated this at the beginning of our video. So this is how it looks like, and this is how it looks like on our dummy. Please let me know if this video is detailed enough, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.